Our state has some incredible problems. My name is Lynn Hinderrocker. I'm here to talk about that with you and talk about the trends that have shaped this state and dragged us in one direction or another. We're not really we're not realizing the dream we had way back in the early 2000s or even around 2008 or 9 or 10. My name is Lynn Hinderrocker. Welcome to WowBiz Nebraska. We're going to get it on right now. Thanks for watching us right here on WowBiz Nebraska. I'm Lynn Hinderrocker with a special guest tonight, by the way. Ishma Valenti is here with the Enterprise Center at 96th and L Street here in the Omaha, Nebraska area. It's a fascinating facility. We're going to get right to it. Ishma, what is the Enterprise Center exactly at 96th and L?
Yeah, first thing, thanks for having me, Lynn. I truly appreciate being here. The Enterprise Center is a luxury office building that has office suites that can just fit about anybody. And it truly is luxury. When you walk in, we have Italian marble floors, atriums and waterfalls, and we have amenities that just are unmatched throughout the city. If you come and you get an office with us, you get wonderful things like we have 9 high-tech luxury conference centers that you can hold meetings in. We even have a lecture hall. We have a green room. We have even a fitness center for our tenants there.
Really?
And it's just wonderful.
Wow, and I would agree. When I walked in, it was breathtaking, to be honest with you. I would use the word, I was trying to find the right word, opulent.
Yes.
Luxurious, opulent, and frankly, I have to use the word gold because that is the motif, you know.
Definitely.
We're surrounded by gold wherever we look, and it's done tastefully, and I have to give people credit for that. You know, I'm going to be clever on you right now, and I'm going to say the first two letters of gold, as you know, are G-O, go. And I think that when people choose a facility like this, especially entrepreneurs, you know, small businesses, they're nervous a little bit about the career and so on. The word go just seems appropriate for this particular facility. It's like movement, move forward, go. You know what I'm saying? That is a word along with gold that seems to just epitomize the whole facility.
Yes, most definitely. We really like our tenants to come in and feel like they are in just the epitome of a place they can be in that screams luxury. When they bring in their clients, they can be impressed. It's instant validation when you're in the Enterprise Center, and it really is. And I love that when you say gold, because we really work to be the gold standard of Lincoln with not only our amenities, but everywhere you walk in the Enterprise Center, you'll see hundreds of pieces of just fine art, sculptures. You're always going to feel like you're somewhere special when you're in the Enterprise Center.
Yeah, and Ishma, you know, the notion of being able to see excellence around you, examples of it, whether it's the art world or furniture design or whatever, it does impact psychologically. You know, you think better of yourself. You feel like, yeah, this is a place where I can be, and I can be my best self right here in Enterprise Center. I think that was really an interesting analogy.
Oh, 100%. I think, you know, I like to use the metaphor of we are the 4 seasons of office space in Omaha.
Yeah.
But it's even better because we're like sandals as well, because everything is included. When you come, you get everything that our office building has to offer within one single price, which is really great.
Now, how many offices are there again?
Yeah, we have over 200 suites in our building.
Okay.
And you know, it's getting close to being full again. In the summer we were full, and we only have about 6 suites open now. So if you're one of those business people looking for a new spot, you must act fast because they are going quickly.
You know, I was really impressed with the conference rooms, and because I just love getting together with people, whether it's short meetings or small meetings or large meetings or whatever. And I think that's one of the high points of the whole facility, because they seem to vary quite a bit in terms of size.
Most definitely, because we know that everyone has a little bit different of need for their conference space. We have conference space that hold 4 to 6, conference spaces that'll hold up to 20, and then a lecture hall that holds up to 60. And what's really awesome about these things as well is we theme them after famous Nebraskans, right? So we have the Henry Fonda room, we have the Marlon Brando room, and even people that have been in Nebraska for a long time and kind of made their name in Nebraska. We have the Tom Brokaw room. We have the Standing Bear Conference Center as well. So we really try to embrace the Nebraskan culture and Omahaan culture while giving our luxury space to the public.
Ishma, what was the inspiration behind this? Dennis Circo is the owner of the place. Was he the one that kind of came up with these ideas, or was he collaborating with other people that said, hey, let's try this? Or how did that go, man?
Well, Dennis Circo is a phenomenal man and with phenomenal ideas. And he has always really wanted to embrace that luxury feel, and you can see it in all of his buildings that he owns, but the Enterprise Center in particular, he really, once he has his mind on something, he goes and gets it. So when we open a new conference room, he does not He really is, he's all about the extras. He brings the extra art, he goes and spends the extra money to make for sure that what you're going to be in, how you're going to feel is going to be comparable to the whole building. And again, make you feel good. You know that saying, look good, feel good, play good? Same thing in business as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's really a clarity that he's not cutting corners anywhere. You kind of feel that you're operating in a national arena, as opposed to just a local arena.
Most definitely. We hear that all the time where people say, I've never seen anything like this in Omaha. It reminds me of something that you would be in Beverly Hills.
Right.
It reminds me of something that you would see
Oh, yeah.
in New York, you know, at one of these big luxury hotels. And that's really what we work for.
Where we're coming from, and yet they're priced pretty well. Thank you so much, Ishma Valenti with the Enterprise Center in 96th and L. If you're interested, I would check out this facility. It's really, truly unique, and I really appreciate the background information, Ishma.
Hey, well, thank you.
Doing a great job. Say hi to Dennis for us.
I
okay?
will.
We'll be right back, right here on WowBiz Nebraska. I'm Len Hinderrocker. We will see you soon.
Where can you watch KPAO Community Television? You know, the channel with all of the local shows. If you live in the Omaha area, Cox Channel 22 and 1022 HD is your place. If you prefer streaming, go to kpaoTVOmaha.org. And now, if you have the Apple TV box, grab our app and watch us there. KPAO on cable, streaming live, and now on Apple TV.
Hi, I'm Mike the Jock. I'm a born and raised American and a food lover, and I invite you to join me as we discover the origins of flavor, the journey of spices, and the recipes of the world.
You know, we had a great conversation with Ishma Valenti with the Enterprise Center. It was very interesting chatting with him about the inspiration behind that facility. But I'm going to be visiting with most of you right now. Now, I've got a lot of business owners that are watching WowBiz Nebraska these days, and we have been able to attract a good number of them. And when I visit with most of them, their attitude is, and even going into 2023, which is an odd time, their attitude is, well, we're doing okay. You know, we seem to be hanging in there, and things seem to be pretty much the way they were last quarter and maybe even the quarter before. So I guess we're doing okay, right? I want to share a quote from the CEO of ServiceMaster. Just about everybody knows a little bit about that organization. And here's the quote. Now, this comes from ServiceMaster's CEO. It's a fascinating quote, and I'm going to read it just right. The arrogance of success is to think that what you did yesterday will be sufficient for tomorrow. Huh? Now, this is such a common sentiment. That is the fact that whatever we're doing today, it should be just as good today as it was previously, and therefore we don't really have any, legitimate or serious problems. This is the conclusion that a lot of people are having right now. And by the way, the workforce, if their boss is thinking along these lines, are looking at each other and wondering, does he or she really believe that? Do they understand how the world is changing and how the psychology of the end user has changed over the last 2, 3, 4 years, obviously, since 2019. So I'm going to ask you this question. I want you to ponder it a little bit as we go into this promotional segment of our show. So what stage of growth are you really in? Okay? Now, most of you would say, well, we're not a startup. But there are definitely startups that are watching WowBiz Nebraska. Or perhaps you've gone beyond the startup phase and you're in the growth phase. So when we start with the growth portion of your sector, a lot of people get excited about it, and it keeps on going, and the profit margins double. And we have something on our side, don't we? Something called force multiplier. Now, it can be a variety of tactics or catalysts or whatever, it could be distribution, whatever it is. When we push this way, and we go in this direction, maybe you're introducing a product, a force multiplier accelerates it, broadens the footprint of the thing, and is very, very exciting. So what happens is you begin to think that this is going to kind of go this way forever, and everything looks smooth, as we go forward. And this is a real issue, of course, because in fact, companies are watching you, your competitors are watching you. Your employees are watching. Are we going to keep on doing this? Is it really going to go like this? The really smart CEO, once he sees or she sees this thing flowing, starts something fresh. Could be some kind of a skunk works, some kind of piece of research, something that in a few weeks or maybe a few months we can launch as well simultaneously. Now somebody's going to come say, why are we doing this new thing here? You know, it seems like everything's going fine, but we know, don't we? We know it's going to slow down. You're going to be attacked and flanked by price competitors and so on. And you want to be able to pull out pre-tested idea or concept and immediately launch it as things start to slow down. This will confuse your competitors tremendously. You'll have two profit margins, kind of both, contributing, of course, to the gross profit of the company. Anyway, so that's an exciting period of time, but a lot of business owners lose that moment. They don't know, and so they overreact a little later when it's clear the marketplace has kind of become bored with the product, or you're being cut by price cutters or other competitors. And now it's too late to start up, pull in the creative guys and conduct research and prototype some new product and see how it goes and see what people have to say. And all this takes time. By now, your primary core operations are kind of in decline. So you're mature now. See, this is when you're mature and you start to wonder, what next and what do we have to do? Because you're headed for decline with that particular product line. You're hoping something else comes along that you created that will more than compensate for that. This is the basic dynamic. Everybody says, oh yeah, I've seen that chart before. I know what that's all about. But the fact of the matter is most business owners and CEOs are reluctant to try anything, to do something different when everything else on the surface appears to be smooth. It's a very interesting thing. I'm Len Hinderrock here on WowBiz Nebraska. Thank you so much for watching us. We're going to talk a lot more about business strategy and what to do to keep your culture fresh and vibrant and make your product cutting edge, because believe me, there are people watching you if you're succeeding, and they are trying to figure out, can we penetrate them? Can we set up a different sales pitch or a different sales force, a different product lineup, whatever it is, and they're going to come at you. So you've got to be constantly reinventing yourself. What Tom Peters used to say, reimagine yourself. Now that's a phrase I use when I approach civic groups and leaders and mayors and economic developers. I say, reimagine your community. What could it be? That kind of thinking is so healthy. And yet, frankly, it's so rare, especially in large companies that really just want to sustain and continue what we were doing 5-10 years ago, if that's possible. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching the first half of WowBiz Nebraska with Len Hinderrocker. It's a pleasure to be here with you. And you know, there's so much that we need to re-examine, rethink about. You know, this show has been brought to you by the Enterprise Center on 96th and L Street here in the Omaha, Nebraska area. It's a fantastic, very unusual facility, perfect for the dozens and dozens of folks who are going to be entrepreneurs soon. They're going to do a side gig. They're fractional workers. They're contract workers all over the eastern Nebraska area. But they're looking for some place, and this is very psychological. Not only is the Enterprise Center luxurious, opulent, a lot of amenities, gold everywhere. It's a gorgeous place, to be sure. But what it really does is it reinforces the confidence of the tenants, makes them feel like, yes, I can be the person I want to be in my own business by surrounding myself with this level of opulence and design. It's beautiful. And by the way, it leaves a very strong first impression when you say, hey, Mr. Sales Prospect, meet me over at my office. Here it is, blah, blah, blah. They walk in and they're like, wow, you must have it together. And that's really what the dream is all about for entrepreneurs. They want to be accepted for who they really are, and this facility really lifts you up and really kind of inspires you every day, and definitely inspires your prospects, makes them feel confident about the work that you can do for them going forward. Again, this is Enterprise Center, 96th and L. I'd suggest you go check it out. It's mind, it's a gasping response when you walk in. It really is. And I've been in a lot of places. It reminds me most of Beverly Hills, where I used to live in that area, and also South Miami. If you put those two together, this building speaks to that level of design and intelligence. And most importantly, I believe Dennis Circle, the owner of the building, would agree, excellence. So I want you to think about go for the gold. That's a cool phrase because it is a gold opportunity. And the first two letters of gold obviously are G-O, and people are kinetic there. They're moving, they're going somewhere, they're collaborating, they're using the web. There is a sense of movement. By the way, that's in contrast to our culture right now. They are going forward at the Enterprise Center in Omaha, Nebraska. So check them out. Tell them I sent you. Thank you so much for watching and learning a little bit about this unusual facility in Omaha, Nebraska, Enterprise. All right, we're back here for the back end of WowBiz Nebraska. There's so much to talk with you about, but I want to talk about strategy for a second and kind of positioning. Because, you know, a lot of people say, well, we're not doing great, but we're not doing bad. You know, we're not sure how inflation's going to be, if we're going to have a recession. Consumer spending seems a little soft. I don't know really what to do, so I think we'll just kind of stick with whatever we're doing right now and just keep moving forward. And of course, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, the Service Master CEO says what you did yesterday will not necessarily be sufficient for tomorrow. So let me ask you some basic questions. You might want to grab a pen and a paper and just scratch this stuff down so you can think about it and maybe pull a couple of your team members in. Number one, very basic, but it's a very interesting question. How do you make money? How do you make money? What do you have to do exactly, right? What adds up to the moment where you go, we're making money? Think about it just for a second. It's not as easy a question. Well, we buy it wholesale, we mark it up right here, we sell it at retail, we got some profit, we reinvest it. I'm talking about a whole lot of variation and alternatives to that one model. All right, number two, how do you join forces? How do you partner with somebody who says, you know, we could probably help each other here. We could cross promote, or you could take part of this. You know, the guy that creates Tesla's batteries is now partnering with a company that creates AI for Tesla and a lot of other electric cars. So there's these two distinct companies. They found a way to kind of come together, form a new organization so they can service the proliferation of electrical vehicles. And now they got a super powered component here that they can sell to all of them. A great example of the importance of partnerships. Number three, how do you support the core process? What do you do? You know, every company has a process, maybe a little chaotic or maybe very systematic, but how do you support it? Do you reinforce it? Do you go with it? Do you challenge it and try to figure out something better? It's very interesting to ask that question. Number four, how do you add value to your offering? Besides cutting prices, or maybe that's one thing you do, but that's a very interesting question. And it really is the source of a whole subset of business called value innovation. We won't get into that now, but value innovation is a big deal, and it might be worth thinking about that. Number five now. How do you design your core offering? How do you design it? Is it a tangible product? Is it a tangible product with a lot of intangible components or aspects that kind of go along with it? How do you come up with it? Do you talk to customers before you're finished and get input about it or not? You know, very interesting how you create a product. Number six, how do you link multiple products, right? How do you get them to work together? How do you make sure that people aren't confused? Well, I know you sold this, but I didn't realize you're selling this over here. And do they have anything to do with each other? I'm confused, right? So linking them together in a coherent way, that's important. Number seven, how do you create value beyond product performance and functionality? Now we're getting into some very interesting stuff. Could be service, of course. That's a very important piece. Increasingly important, by the way. And then there's some other intangible that we like to buy from this guy. This particular guy always adds something, and we always feel like we got a great value because he's servicing us. So creating value beyond the mere functionality of a product, that's a tough subject. Big question. Number eight, and the last one in this particular sequence, how do people, this is big, right? How do people feel when they interact with your organization? I've done research with a lot of different companies. I go out and talk to them. I say, how do you feel when you work with them? They go, feel? I don't know. I guess I feel okay. You don't feel great about it when they walk away? No, not really. See? And there's a wide variety of responses. Sometimes it's, heck yes, it's great. I love working with these guys. Makes me feel good about myself and about my company. Just depends. But feelings and emotion are having increasing relevance to brand loyalty. You want to be loyal to a company? The product's fine, the product works, but I love what they surround it with and the people who give it to me and they give me the guarantees and they call me and really makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. I love doing business with this company. All right, so there's 8 questions. There are more, by the way, that could be asked, but those are the tough questions when a management consultant sits down with you and says, let's talk, should we? Should we really get down to the bottom line? How do you create value? What is your product really, et cetera? It's a fascinating topic, and I encourage you to cover those questions yourself with your own team or give us a call at newbraska.com. Next time we get together, by the way, we're going to talk about one word. The opposite of no, 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 no is yes. That's right. We're going to talk about the word yes and the notion of welcoming whatever comes at you. Now that's a little bit metaphysical for a typical business conversation, but it can make an enormous difference so that you see opportunity in situations, even though it may seem kind of negative or a waste of time or maybe something that doesn't fit with your lifestyle or your world view. Yes, so don't miss WowBiz Nebraska the next time we get around to seeing each other again. Check out that particular presentation. We'll do other things as well. Incredible data that I'm going to share with you across the entire state of Nebraska. Thanks again. I'm Lynn Hinderrocker with WowBiz Nebraska. We'll see you next time.